Welcome to Crafting on the Plains. My name is Jacinta and this is my channel, mostly about kind of cross stitch, but also occasionally about other crafts such as knitting, quilting, sewing, and whatever crafty endeavors I happen to get up to. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you both to new and returning viewers. I am so appreciative that you all have taken time out of your busy day and your busy lives to spend a little bit of it with me. So I do have a cross stitch update today, as well as, which includes a new start. I do have some cross stitch haul and a giveaway to announce, and I've got some sewing and some knitting as well. And then I have some plans that I'm going to be talking about. So I'm just going to get right into it. And also, before I forget, if you have not already, please consider liking this video and subscribing. It does help my channel grow, and it also helps YouTube know that you want to see more of my videos. So I do want to say thank you so much to my new subscribers. I recently hit 1,500 subscribers, so I'm so excited about that. I got quite a few more views and subscribers in my last video. So thank you so much. And again, welcome if you are new. Like I said, my name is Jacinta. Just a little bit about me. I live in Oklahoma and I'm an attorney and a college professor, and I live here with my husband, my daughter, who just turned 7, and our 2 cats. So that's a little bit about me, and I'm going to go ahead and get into it. I have kind of some updates, but I'm just going to go through them as I go. My stitching is not as substantial as it normally is. I've had a lot of kind of like, I hate to call it obligation crafting because it's stuff that I love to do and I'm happy to do, but I've had some crafting that's been having some deadlines. And then I also had 2 back-to-back work trips this past month. And a lot of, my daughter just had a birthday, my husband's birthday was yesterday, and had some other family birthdays. So we've been very busy. So let me just sort of get into what I've got. And that's also why it's taken me a couple extra weeks to film a video, because I have been traveling. So let me just go ahead and get into it. I do have one new start. I don't have any finishes or any fully finishes at all. But I do have a new start that I'm so excited about. So this right here is Heart and Hand, Halloween Tiny Town. I was staring right at the words and still like my brain was just blanking on it. Halloween Tiny Town. Oh, excuse my nails. I just wanted to do something fun for Halloween. So anyway, I have some festive nails because tomorrow's Halloween. So I started this. I have several friends. I listed them all in my last video, and I explained kind of my new start, but I had a bunch of friends that were going to be at, I think it's Stitch in London is the one that happens in the fall. And I was not going to Stitch in London, but they invited me to start it along with them. And so I did start this the same weekend that they started it. We just were, an ocean apart. And this is my start, and it's quite small. I haven't gotten to work a ton on it. And this fabric, this pattern calls for quite a lot of color changes. So it does make it a little bit difficult to get a lot of quick progress. So there it is. It's not wanting to be the best focus. This fabric is a discontinued fabric. It's from a dyer that does not dye anymore, but it is a 32 count. And I realized that I am very much lacking in my 32 count stash. So it used to be what I mostly stitch on, and now I mostly do 36. And this was the only piece of 32 count that was actually big enough, like long enough for me to stitch on. But I do like it. Normally it is stitched on like a more tan kind of fabric. And I thought that this one was kind of like a spooky Halloween night type of thing. So, or like a kind of gray October day maybe. So I liked it, but it is a little bit different. I am missing some spaces because I realized, how does this happen? I am out of like just white, just like DMC Blanc. somehow I have none of it, which is bizarre. So I do need to pick some of that up soon, so that way I can, because I have a couple projects that probably need it. So I need to get some of that. So that's where some of these missing spots are, is because that's where the blanc would go. But I'm doing a mix of a few of the called fors and some of the called for DMCs, and then some of the DMCs I'm just sort of like subbing based off of what I like. So it's kind of a conversion. It's nothing special, but if you're interested in any of the, like what I'm using as of right now, because you're wanting to start this and you want like a typed up, you know, what I'm doing, just feel free to message me. Either email me or DM me on Instagram, which both of those are below. And I am, like I said, I'm stitching it on 32 count. I do most of my heart and hands on 32 count because they come with, there's not a way for me to show you, but they come with little buttons and things. So this one has like a button there, that star's a button, and then somewhere else. Oh, I think that star's a little button as well. And so because of that, I want my little buttons and beads and stuff to fit on the fabric. So I do it on the called for count. I had a lot of people give me great suggestions for what to sub the owl with. I had some people suggested a spider, which I think is such a good idea. Several people said a crow or a cat, or just maybe taking the bat from over here and just doing it again over here. Or like a pumpkin. So yeah, a lot of suggestions. So thank you so much to everybody that suggested. I think somebody maybe just said a ghost, because I could also take one of these ghosts and just kind of, I mean, ghosts are abstract shapes, so that wouldn't be hard to chart. But yeah, so I really appreciate everybody who gave me some good suggestions, because I don't stitch owls. So I was happy to have those. So thank you guys so much for your suggestions. Okay, I only have, I think two whips to show. I did not do very much stitching. I took stitching with me on both of my work trips and didn't do any stitching. Well, I think I stitched on this like one time for like 15 minutes, but I just didn't have time, so it's fine. I'm going to show the next project that I worked on is one that I had been lamenting about last time, and people gave me a lot of good motivation to just get on with it. And that is Nature's Journey by Sprouting Lupine. This is where I am. So this is the entire piece. I've got some parked threads, so I apologize if that bothers you, but this is a piece. It's in Just Cross Stitch magazine, and it is done in sections, like 4 sections of like the 4 seasons of the year. So I've got some parked threads because these threads will go into the winter section, which is going to be over here. So rather than end them off and then just have to restart them the next section over, I just went ahead and parked them. So the last time I showed you, so my autumn section is down here. The last time I showed you this, I had done a terrible miscount of this entire center piece, and also that had taken the whole moth just off of, it thrown the whole moth off. So I did hurry up and rip back. There we go. I did go ahead and rip back the moth and the little vine that's in the center and restitched it mostly. Yeah, I have a couple pieces where I just, I don't know, ran out of thread or decided to jump over something else. And then I added in, I restitched this. I'd had part of this flower, so I restitched the whole thing. I stitched this flower, which the other half I assume will go in the winter section. And then I did this little bug. And then this is something, I think it's some type of like leaf or plant. I don't remember, but it's mostly plants. So odds are it's some type of plant. But I'm really enjoying this. Once I got it all ripped out and I seam ripped. Like I used an actual seam ripper, which I would say don't do unless you've used seam rippers a lot before, because it was a little scary. I was scared of ripping my fabric, but I used an actual seam ripper and just ripped out. I did not try to save. Normally when I frog, I kind of like carefully tink back and try to save my thread. That was not so on this one. There was so much to cover, and there were so many different colors that had been stitched around each other that it got ripped out. It got ripped out, and that's the way it is. So, but I feel like I'm in a good place to keep going, and I'm feeling a lot better about it. I will say that I probably won't get this autumn part finished for autumn, because I am going to try to stitch the winter piece at winter solstice. I did want to, I've sort of been putting off stitching on this because I want to work on this a bit in November, because I wanted to do my spooky season, like Halloween stitching in October, and I'm just not, I don't know. It's fine. I know that this piece is going to have to go into next year. So I'm okay with the fact that it's not going to get done this year. I would like to get more done in the autumn section so that I don't have very much to do next year when I pick it back up. But at this point, the winter section will pick up right here. So I can easily start winter, even if I just did absolutely nothing else on this autumn section, which I would not do, but I could start winter at this point if I wanted to. And this is being stitched on a 32 count Atomic Ranch in the colorway Cobblestone. And it is beautiful. And it's going to be quite a large piece. I'm very excited about this. And I just love I don't know. I really like this moth. I still think this moth is my favorite though, the spring one. So that is that piece. I am definitely planning on pulling this out in November a bit. I'm going to talk about November plans at the end of this, towards the end of this video. And I'm stitching this on all the called for DMCs. Okay. My next whip is one that I started this year and then I had not touched in quite a while. And it is Plum Street Samplers Fig Folk. So it is one of those animal trios, and it's the bats. So cute. So I started this on my daughter's first day of school this year, and I think it is my plan to always start one of these on her first day of school. I have a few others that I will probably start at other times of the year as well, but I would like to start one of these every year on her first day of school because we have a little family of just 3, and so it just makes me happy and reminds me of us. So here is where I am. I am having an issue with one of the threads not showing up on the fabric. And so that is kind of what stalled me out. So here I am. I finished the main part, the main body of, I just dropped everything out of that project bag all over the floor. I just finished the main body of all of the bats, and I've done all of the baby bat, which includes this teeny tiny 1/1 stitching. Oh my gosh. Look at its little ears. I'm obsessed. So I still need to do a little bit of 1/1. I need to fill in the little ears, and I need to do the little eyes. But the issue I'm having is that the color of the bats' faces blends in super well with this fabric. For the baby bat, I went ahead and just used the light gray that's on this branch. But then when I tried to use it on these bats, it was too close to the color of this, of the wings. So I think that's interesting. I'm thinking because it was stitched 1/1, it looked different. trying to get to focus so you can see. There you go. Which is so interesting how different colors look when they're stitched 1/1 versus 1/2. So I need to have a look through my stash and find a color that matches it. So as you can see here, it's a light gray. And their fabric, I don't know. The only thing I'm never sure about with these is this says that it was stitched on 36 count saltbush, but saltbush is not this light from my experience. So I thought I'd be fine. I don't even remember what this is. It's a 36 count. I think it's 36 count cappuccino by Fiber and Whim. That feels right. But I thought this would be fine. And it's not. So I don't know. So I've been working on it. I tried to go and do a few more of these little leaves and kind of just keep plucking away at it. But until I resolve this color issue here, I just don't know how much I can get done. So I might go ahead and try to do a little bit on this tonight just to keep going. I don't know. I don't want to fully put that away for the season because it's such a small stitch, but I don't know how much I'll want to stitch on it after October's over. So we'll see. Okay, so that's actually my last WIP. There were a few other projects that I put like maybe 20-30 minutes on randomly throughout the last few weeks, but I really have not done that much stitching. The bulk of it has just been on those 3. So I didn't want to pull anything that you just couldn't see any progress on. So it is what it is. I've also just not had as much time to stitch, and I've been feeling very unsettled in my stitching. Usually I'll pick a project and I'll work on it for 3 or 4 days straight and get a lot of progress, and then I'll switch it out. And I think because I've had a lot of days where I haven't stitched at all and I've been working on other projects and then I've been out of town and all stuff like that, I haven't been able to get really into a good like groove and routine with my projects. So it's fine. This happens every October. I think next year I'm going to start my spooky season stitching early. I really this year did not let myself start Halloween stitching in July. I wanted to wait until, if not August, then at least like beginning of September. Like I really like pushed it off because I was like, no, I don't want to do spooky season stitching. Like I'm saving it for the fall. But then I forget that every October I'm so busy with birthdays, midterms, just everything, Halloween, that I don't have as much time to do that stitching as I want to. So next year, as soon as I'm done stitching summer, as soon as I feel the urge to pull out fall, I'm just going to embrace it and pull out fall instead of trying to make it be like the right season. You know, I didn't want to get burned out on stitching Halloween, but I just don't think that, I think that I went too far the other direction this year. So it's okay. All right, I have some haul though, because I got to do something really fun. I got to go to the attic needlework. So the first trip that I took for work, I took one that was just within the state of Oklahoma. I went down to far southeastern Oklahoma, and that was just an overnight. But the first trip I took for work was actually to Arizona. We got to stay in Chandler for a conference. And being so close to Mesa, I took a little bit of time to sneak up. I didn't sneak up, my boss knew I was going. But I took a little bit of time to go up to the attic, and it was really great. I was able to take, my daughter had fall break, so she came with me, and then my husband had some leave from work, so he was able to come, and they just got to hang out and do fun stuff while I was conferencing. So I have got my bag from the attic. And I actually I pulled this out of my suitcase and I set it over to the side to not take anything out of it until I filmed a Flosstube. So I've a little bit forgotten what I bought. So this will be sort of like fun for me too, because it's a little bit of an unboxing. So I'm going to try to avoid crinkling. If you hear some crinkling, I do apologize. Okay, I'm going to show what I have. I did buy a couple random flosses just because I knew I have some projects, I have some plans coming up for November, December that I need to do some kitting up for. And since I was in a place where they physically had fancy floss, I wanted to go ahead and get it, but I'm not going to show those because they're just very like random. They're nothing, it's not any like exclusives or anything like that. It's just a few different colors that I didn't have that I needed. So, okay. So the first thing I'm going to show, I'll show my fabric first. So they had a bunch of Cedar River, and I have never stitched on Cedar River before. So I was really, really excited to get to grab some. They had a few different kinds of fabric that I'd never stitched on before. So I did want to get something that I hadn't used before and that I haven't seen for sale any of the other places that I've been. So I got Cedar River, and this is a 32 count because, like I said, I realized that I don't have hardly any 32 anymore. And occasionally I do have a pattern that I feel like just needs to be on 32, whether it's something that has a lot of blends. And so I feel like I don't like the way the blends look on 36, or it's got beads or it's got whatever. I just need it to be on 32. So I got this, and it is 32 count pyrite. I think this is a color I've seen some other floss tubers using, but I could be wrong about that. So this is what it looks like. It's very much just, I mean, I don't want to say just because it's beautiful, but it's kind of just like a tan, gently modeled. So it's nothing super intense modeling, but you can tell it's got a little bit of variegation in it, which is what I really like. I struggle with fabrics that are very like huge, dramatic color. I think they're beautiful, but I struggle to know what to stitch on them. And so I felt like this was a very good option. I could do a sampler on this. I could do something more modern on this. I could do a lot with it. So I just wanted to get, since I wasn't getting this for a particular project and I was just getting it for stash, I wanted to get something very neutral and that would be very versatile. And I think it is. And I do love, the feel of this is really good. It's like got a good weight. I mean, it's Weigart, but it's got a good, like, it's a little stiff, but not too stiff, if that makes sense. So very happy with it. My next stuff that I got is charts. And so this is what I'm going to show you guys. I got a few things, including I picked up 2 items that I'm going to do as a giveaway, which I'm going to give here in a little bit. Okay. So one thing I got is Plum Street Samplers Tropic Troop. This is the little flamingo one, and I think I told you just a little bit ago that I love these because they kind of, in my mind, like remind me of my own little family, and my daughter is obsessed with flamingos, so I had to get it. So it's got the mommy flamingo and daddy flamingo, and then that little one, a baby flamingo, is called a chicklet. I don't know. Usually it says this on here. Anyway, it's called a chicklet. I learned that from my daughter because she had to do a report over flamingos for her gifted and talented class. Well, they all pick their own favorite animal, and of course hers, flamingos. So adorable. I'll probably start this in the summertime. This will be a really good, cute summer stitch. So love that one. So excited. And then I got 2 things. I got 2 sampler stitches because Attic, that's their thing, is sampler stitching. And so I had to get some samplers. So I picked up 2 blackbirds. I got Dear Daughter because this one is one that has always it's always stuck out at me, but then I've never got it. And I would really love to stitch this one. I think I was also thinking because it was like the week of her birthday, my daughter's birthday. So I was feeling very like nostalgic or whatever. I don't know if that's the right word, but yeah. So I thought it was really pretty, and I might change up. It's got some pink, but I'll probably make this house pink as well. So I don't know when I'll start this. It's not an immediate plan, but it's one that I wanted to get. Because it's one I know that I want to do at some point, and in case it ever goes out of print, then I've got it. And then I got Away We Ride, And this, I was very much influenced. I have several friends, and I've seen several floss tubers who are stitching a wavy ride right now, and I love it so much. I actually didn't look to see the size of this thing, and on 30 count, it's 11 3/8 by 12 3/4. So maybe on a 36, well, definitely on 36, it'll be smaller. But yeah, I don't know. I've just been seeing everybody stitching this, and I love this dark border. I love the ravens. It's just so pretty. And I love this like quirky house. So again, no immediate plans. I'm really trying not to just like stash to stash, but I kind of always heard like Blackbird, because you don't know if it's going to go out, that it's a good idea to pick it up. So stuff that is only sold in paper I tend to be more willing to grab, even if I don't have a solid plan to stitch it. Okay. And then I wanted to pick up a couple things for you guys. So because I actually hit 1,500 right before I flew to Arizona, so I was really excited, and I really wanted to grab something to give away to you guys. I do have a giveaway that I announced in my last video, and I know that the winner, I have not gotten back with you because I think you emailed me the day that I flew out. So I'm going to send that and I'm going to email you back today. So I apologize for my delay on that. It's just been it's been a crazy month, but I wanted to go ahead and announce these as a celebration of 1,500 subscribers. And so I'm going to be giving away, I picked up these two because they are, they're Christmas charts. And I didn't want to get Halloween because that's going to be heading out soon. So I decided I would do Christmas. That way, as long as I stay on top of things, I can get them mailed out to the recipient and maybe they can stitch them for Christmas. So I've got this one, which is Peace. And I picked small ones because that way I can easily mail them anywhere because they fit in regular envelopes. So I always try to, if I'm choosing a giveaway to give away, I try to pick ones that are small so they fit in regular, like half size envelopes. So I got Peace. There we go. Two little ladies. And then and these are both by Country Cottage Needleworks. And then I think this one is so pretty. I'm not a big alphabet sampler, but I considered for a second keeping this and stitching it for myself first, but I'm not going to. This one I love. It's totally my Christmas color palette. It's pinks and light greens. There it is. This is Holly and Ivy. Where is it? There we go. So if you would like to win these, please leave a comment below. Please be over the age of 18, be a subscriber, because I want to thank my subscribers as a celebration to reaching 1,500. And don't say the word giveaway, win, free, you know, all that stuff. And if you want to win Peace, use the word Peace. If you would like to win Holly and Ivy, use the word Holly. And if you want to use both words, that's fine. If you get drawn for the first one, then you've put both, I'll just give you the first one and whatever. So, you can enter for both is my point here. So yeah, please, again, Peace and Holly, if you want to be entered into the giveaway. And thank you all so much for subscribing. I'm not in this. I think most Flosstubers are not in this for like a certain level of subscribers or anything like that, but it is really nice to just feel like there's a lot of people out there that appreciate what you are sharing and all of that. So I do, it's great. And everybody that leaves comments, I read all of your comments and I appreciate it so much. So thank you all. Okay, I'm going to talk plans and then I'm going to get into my other crafts. So I didn't pull the project, so I apologize about that. My plans for November, stitching wise, is I want to continue working on Nature's Journey. And I am going to be doing Nora November. I've got a Nora Corbett. It's Capricorn. I don't know. We'll see if I post a picture, but it's Capricorn by Nora Corbett. And so I'm going to be working on that. I'm not going to start a new Nora, but I just want to make substantial progress. My November plans are pretty minimal. I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to finish anything. I had way too many deadlines, way too much going on in October. And I know as we get into Christmas season, it's going to be busy. So I am really trying not to overextend myself. And I really want to make November a very calm, cozy month. And a lot of people I've been seeing online, not in Flosstube, but on other platforms, where people have been saying like they're worried or whatever about like the time change and it's going to be so dark so early and all of that. Sorry, my cat is over here. I think I don't know what she's doing. So maybe you can hear her purring. She's over here. But I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. I'm going to be doing like full Hygge November. Like I want it to be cozy. I'm going to be doing projects. I'm going to be doing hot tea. I'm going to be doing snuggling with cats. I'm going to be doing candles. And yeah, very hibernation core, leading into busy December again. So that's my plans. I just want to make progress. I'm not trying to like finish things, have a ton of goals. There is something that I want to do, and this is more for people who are, I guess, knitters and crocheters, but whatever, if you want to join. I have several blanket knitting projects and crochet projects that I have not been working on. So I want to do a cozy blanket November, and that's a hashtag I'm going to use on Instagram, cozy blanket November. And I want to just work on my blankets, just make it a goal. Again, not trying to promise I'm finishing anything. Some of my blankets will not be finished for a really long time, but just really embrace cozy long-term projects. So I'm going to be working on some knitted and crochet blankets. If you have a knitted or crochet blanket, or maybe a quilt that you've been needing to work on or wanting to start or needing to get out, let me know and we can work on them together. So, or even if, I don't know if you're a stitcher and you're stitching on something that has a blanket on it, I don't really care. We're doing cozy blankets. There's no rules. There's no rules. There's no expectations. There's no deadlines. We're just having a cozy November. So anyway, if you are working on a blanket or something with a blanket, or I don't know, you're doing a project under a blanket, tag me on Instagram and use the hashtag cozy blanket November. And I would love to see it, but if you can tag me, that is ideal, because the hashtags are not working as great anymore. So, and I will put that hashtag on the screen. So yeah, I hope that you join me for Cozy Blanket November. I'm very excited to have a very, very calm, cozy month before holiday stuff gets in. I will probably start some holiday stitching in November, but I'm just going to see what I feel like. I'm not holding myself to any, like, I'm going to get this done before December or anything like that. Okay, so speaking of knitting, I have a finished object. So here is my finished object. It is the sweater that I knit for my daughter. This is the Flax by Tin Can Knits, flax worsted. I did modify this a bit. The main modification I did is I didn't decrease for the sleeves. I made them be kind of like puff sleeves, just because I like that look, and I also didn't want to mess with the decreases because one of these sleeves I knit entirely on the plain. I knit one of the sleeves entirely on the plain, and then the other sleeve I knit like a good half of the sleeve on the plain. And then I finished up the other one when I got back. This was late. I did not get it done for my daughter's birthday, but I got it done last weekend, I think. And I'm so happy. It's so cute. I used Knit Picks, and I can't remember what the colorway is, but it's a Knit Picks yarn. It's Knit Picks. Gets Knit Picks comfy. All the details are in a prior video, but here it is. And yeah, so instead of, they have you do decreases on the arms to make them like more fitted. So I did not make this sweater. I bought it it's from J. Crew, but I think it's from J. Crew. or maybe Loft. I don't know. But anyway, so this one is not as good of an example, but you can see how it goes. It tapers in. This, I just kept knitting at the same, I didn't do any decreases until right before, and then I did 2 rounds of very rapid decreases before I did my cuff. So that way it would kind of have this little puff. And it makes, this style of sleeve makes me so happy. I don't know why, but it just does. It's just so cute, especially on a little girl. So I don't think I have a picture of her in it because she just wore it the other day. I think we just wore it to church or whatever. So, but it did get cold, so I got it done just in time for the cold to finally roll in right before Halloween. So here it is. And I would definitely say if you are a beginner knitter, this is a great pattern. It's free. It's got a bunch of sizes. It's very simple construction. So happy with it. Okay. And so that was birthday present. Then I did also finish, this is going to be sewing. I finished her dress, and I'm like looking it over. I pulled this out of her laundry bin because she's worn it several times since she got it. So she did actually have this on her birthday. And this is, I want to say it's the Adelaide dress by Violet Field Threads. I have it again linked in my last video, but this is the Adelaide dress, and I used this flamingo print fabric that I got off Etsy. It was actually printed through Spoonflower, but I did also do some modifications. So I did line the body of the dress, which I'm actually quite glad. This dress has a scooped back, like a very low back, and I just altered the pattern to have a normal neckline because I wanted it to be warm, and I also just didn't want to have to mess with it being a low scoop back and things like that. I did also change the sleeves. This dress has cap sleeves, and so I just sort of altered the pattern a little bit to have regular t-shirt style sleeves. And then the other alteration I did is that I did a pleated skirt. So you can see the skirt is pleated here instead of gathered. And I did that because this, what I have found on knit fabrics, especially if you're serging them, because I used my serger for this, or what I think you would call in the UK an overlocker. It does these types of seams. Oh my gosh, these types of seams, which is perfect for knits. You don't have to have a serger or an overlocker to do knits. You can do it on your regular sewing machine, but it is nice. And so I have found that when you have a knit fabric, like a stretchy fabric, that's what I mean by knit, a stretchy fabric, and this fabric is a little bit thicker and stiffer, that sometimes the waistband, when you gather it, doesn't sit so nice. Not the waistband, but like the waist where you gather it doesn't sit so nice. So if you can see here, it falls quite flat. Like it's a nice just seam. It sticks out just a teensy weensy bit there, but there's really not much that you could do about that. But I have found on some of the other dresses that I've made for her in the past, when I've done a gathered, I don't know if it's the weight of the fabric or the way that it's stiff, but it kind of causes like the where the bodice and the dress are joined, or the skirt are joined, to kind of like get stretched and like warped and flare and just not sit so nice. And this is quite a thick, I think maybe because it's a printed, it's quite a thick knit fabric, which it's not a sweater knit, it's just like a regular jersey, but it's quite thick. It's good quality. I'm very happy with it, but I was a little bit worried that it would look weird and not be so neat. So I went ahead and did the pleating on here instead, and I think it looks really good. So there's the flamingo dress, and she was so happy with it, and she wore it on her birthday. Or actually, no, she didn't wear it on her birthday. She wore it for her birthday party. because on her birthday we're actually flying. So okay, and then my last thing is actually not finished. It's a sewing work in progress, but it is almost done. You just got a cat in here. So this, I sew her Halloween costume every year, and this year she wanted to be a pink witch. And of course she chose to be a pink witch on not a lot of notice. So I had to pick this fabric up from Walmart, and I think given that I got it from Walmart, it's not so bad. So what I'm going to do is she's going to have just a plain like I actually might have her knit sweater with this. I have a black long sleeve, but it's supposed to be really cold tomorrow for Halloween. So she might have like a sweater or something else over it. But I'm just made her a skirt. And then I have a hat as well that I'll go grab it in a second and I'll show you. I just bought a store-bought hat and I'm kind of just redecorating it a little bit. But this is the skirt. I still need to put in the elastic. So of course this is much too big, but I need to put in the elastic. It's so glittery. It's been shedding glitter everywhere in the house. But here it is. And then it will have an elastic waistband. So it'll be kind of cinched up and it'll be nice and poofy. So I let her pick out all the fabric, which I am a little bit regretful of because this is fine even though it is so glittery. This is like a lycra something. It's super thin, it's super stretchy, it gets warped out of like, it's just weird. So this inner part was a horrendous pain to work with. It's actually double layered, so it's a 3-layered skirt. I have 2 layers of this part and then I have this. Because this was so lightweight, I was afraid that it would end up being see-through in the sun. I don't think it is actually, but... And I just didn't bother hemming it because it's not going to fray. And it's a costume. It's a costume. Here's my cat. This is Sky. She's an old lady. She's so sweet. Okay, hopefully she's chill. So yeah, I should have just made her pick a woven, just like cotton fabric that was close to this color, but it was what she wanted. And we kind of had a going back and forth on what costume she wanted for a while. And so I finally just was like, you know what, if you're happy with this, I will get it and I will work with it because I just need you to pick something so that I can make this costume. So anyway, it's fine. It's almost entirely constructed on the serger, absent a couple seams. And yeah, so I've still got this bit here and I'm going to thread some elastic through. I've got some waistband elastic. And then that will cinch it in. So that's what I'm going to do tonight is measure her waist to the elastic. And then that will be her cute little skirt. I am really happy with it. I think she's going to be adorable. But yeah, this was not... It was a very simple construction, but it was not the most fun to manage this stuff. Yeah, it just wasn't. Okay, let me grab the hat so you can see it. Okay, here is... the hat. This isn't finished. So I just bought a regular, this actually came on it, this thing, and she liked it. So we're keeping it. This is just a regular witch's hat from Walmart. And all the supplies came from Walmart. Because again, we just needed to get something quickly. But yeah, so we just bought it from there. It's actually an adult witch's hat because her and my head are the same size at this point. So here it is. The buckle was part of it, but it had a different, just like black, like satiny type ribbon. So cut that off. This is still pinned. I'll probably just hot glue it. I don't know. I might sew it up tonight. So there it is. And then we also found this cute little cluster. This came as a little set. This was in the Walmart craft department. We have like a proper fabric section in our Walmart. I've noticed like the more rural Walmart stores still have the fabric section, whereas I feel like the more urban ones do not. So I think that's very interesting. So, but I guess because we live in a more rural area, Walmart has a craft section or a fabric section. So anyway, I had this little thing, which is just a little cluster of flowers, I guess. And that's going to go somehow on here. I don't really know. Kind of like that, I guess. So there's the hat. And then it'll match the little skirt. Good Lord. Okay. So so you get the idea. So it'll be cute. I'm really happy with it. She's gonna be, I try to design her costumes for maximum warmth, because it is always really, really hot all fall until the week of Halloween, and then it gets freezing. So, and true to Oklahoma form, that is exactly what happened. So, okay, so that's all I've got. I've just been, as you can see, I've had a ton of projects that are not cross stitch that have been keeping me busy, which is fine. I love getting to make her costumes. I love getting to make her birthday stuff, but it does mean that the cross stitch takes a little bit of a backseat for like a month or so in the fall. So that is everything that I've got to share. Again, please remember to enter my giveaway. And thank you so much if you've stayed this long. I really appreciate it. And I hope that in the next few weeks, you get a lot of crafting time in.